plants and everything outside and other discussions. My reading this morning will come from the Science of Mind for the month of May. And I thought this one was kind of fun. The title is Invaders Unwelcome, and it's from May 11th. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Jim Rohn says, the native state of humanity is purity, peace, and perfection from Ernest Holmes. The article goes on to say this in Colombia. Colombia has a growing invasive species, hippopotamuses. You wouldn't have guessed. During the kingdom, Pablo Escobar illegally imported 4 hippos for his private zoo in the 1980s. Abandoned because of the high cost of the relocation after Escobar's death in 1993, the hippos flourished, wreaking havoc on biodiversity in the region as they have changed the quality of water. They're on their way to displacing native animals, such as manatees and alike. They steal into farms in the middle of the night and gobble up crops. With no natural predators in Colombia, they've proliferated easily. Their population has increased from 130 to its projected hit 1,500 in 2035 if left unchecked. The Center of Invasive Species and Ecosystems Health defines an invasive species as a non-native organism whose introduction causes harm. In Colombia, the hippos found an inviting place to live. Climate and environmental conditions are perfect. There is no competition for resources, and there are no predators. Our writer goes on to say, I equate this to consciousness. Invasive thoughts such as despair, pain, lack enter our consciousness and interfere with our native state of being of love, peace, joy, abundance, and holiness. If they have no competition for the truth, invasive thoughts thrive. What is the condition of your thought habit? Does the truth thrive, or invasive thoughts take over, checking out the truth, choking out the truth? Oust any invaders, create a consciousness where invasive thoughts wither and die. Let the truth of who you are flourish. And the affirmation is, I oust any invading thoughts and allow my natural, spirit-given thoughts of love, peace, joy, and abundance to create a beautiful life. And with that thought, let's go into a guided meditation by taking a deep breath, relaxing and letting go. Do it again. Get into a rhythmic breathing habit in this morning's presence. Just relax and let go and know this truth with me now. There is one creative thought, one creative entity within the universe. Call it what you will. But know this one creative energy, the universal power, the universal mind, is everywhere present. It is perfect, whole, and complete in every way, in every thought. I align myself with this mind now. My mind and its mind are one. I am one with it, and it is one with me. As I go forward this morning, I know this truth, that I am a divine, inspirational spirit. What makes me unique within this lifetime, and within this thought, within this personality, within this perfect, whole, and complete individualization of God. I bring thoughts and creativity passing through me and creating from me to give my gift to the world, to give my gift to this center, to give this gift and my gift to my family, my friends, And in return, I know that I am in the cycle of life, in the cycle of the divine spirit, giving an opportunity to choose new ideas, new thoughts, new creativity at every step of the way. That where I place my energy, I know that this is what I will create in my life now. My thoughts are creative. And I choose to release and let go of anything that is less than perfect in my life. And if I have a situation that I am facing, that I face the outcome of what I choose and what I want and focus my attention on it. For as I focus my thoughts and as I place my thoughts, I know that I create out of this idea. If I focus on the hippopotamuses, I know I'll get more hippopotamuses. If I create a thought of healing and peace and harmony, and knowing that I can create an answer for any issue, any thought, any idea, any challenge, that I place my energies on the outcome. The divine nature of who I am will come forth as I place more energy upon it. And so in recognizing this center and its plants, in recognition of those that are bringing plants to create an opportunity here for the center, I choose to weed my garden and focus on the flowering of that which blooms within me and radiates out. I look in my fridge and I release and let go of anything that is older than what I want to eat. And I focus and replace it with just those elements that I choose in my next meal. I let the stale go by. I release it out of my life. And I feel that vibrant energy within me radiating out and creating anew in my life now. I choose these thoughts, these ideas to create in my life easily, with joy, with love, focusing on my attention to the details that I choose and letting those that I don't want just filter away, releasing any thought or ideas focused on them, and I turn my attention to the new thought, the new idea, and I place that energy within me. I take a moment in silence now just to reflect on these words, these thoughts, these ideas that come through each and every one of us. I take a moment in silence just to reflect and to give joy and thanks on everything that has brought me to this place, this time, and this moment. And I take that moment now. throughout my body, I feel the thanksgiving. I feel the appreciation. And I feel that wonderment that I have in my life now. Regardless of anything that may be going through, I know that I can meet the challenge and meet the love and the attention that I have to prosper, to be healthy, to be in love, and to be joyous. And on this weekend, I give thanks for all those families and friends that have lost loved ones as we go into Memorial Day tomorrow. I give thanks for all of the efforts that have been made. I have a peaceful heart, but I have a thanksgiving also for all those that have perished in memoriam. I give thanks to my grandfather who was in the Army in World War I. I give thanks for my dad who served in the Navy during World War II. I give thanks for all those that have served to support my freedom as I go forward. There were choices made. And I reflect on all of that allows us a freedom for this moment in this time. And I recognize the peace that I have in myself and recognize and give thanks for all of those families who have given at the highest level. And I honor those Gold Star families that have sacrificed so much in loving and offering and giving. I give thanks in this moment as we go into this holiday celebration. I allow my thoughts now to come back into this room, into this moment. I feel the peace and well-being within my body, within my spirit, for each and every one of us here. We're connected through love and joy and coming to this place, this center. And I feel that vibration, that love, that gift that is a part of this place, the energy. I give thanks for all of this and more. And as we close, we know that we are in divine hands, and we can release all of this into the divine mind to do its great work, to assist us, to guide us, and to give us even more joy and more light and more love in our lives today, simply by saying, and so it is. Namaste.
Check, check, test, test. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Susan, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down the song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just gotta see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand, and I won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time, back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. There's hours of time on the telephone line, talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. I always thought that I'd see you again. Thanks, yes. That pause was me thinking that my guitar strap had come undone. I was like, wait, I'm losing my guitar. Oh, gather up the brokenness, bring it to me now. The fragrance of the promises you never dared to vow. The splinters that you carried, the cross you left behind. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come, healing of the spirit, come, healing of the limb. Behold the gates of mercy in arbitrary space, and none of us deserving of the cruelty or the grace. A solitude of longing where love has been confined. Come, healing of the body, come, healing of the mind. Oh, see the darkness yielding that tore the light apart. Come, healing for the reason, come, healing for the heart. Oh, troubledness concealing an undivided love, the heart beneath is teaching to the broken heart above. Let the heavens falter, let the earth proclaim. Come, healing of the altar, come, healing of the name. Oh, longing of the branches to lift the little bud. Oh, longing for the arteries to purify the blood. Oh, let the heavens hear it, penitential hymn. Come, healing of the body, come, healing of the limb. Oh, let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come, healing of the spirit, come, healing of the limb. Come, healing of the spirit, come, healing of the limb. Thank you. I knew somebody was misbehaving. There's a place in the world for a gambler. There's a burden only he can bear. There's a place in the world for a wanderer, and he sees, oh yes he sees, and he sees, oh yes he sees. There's a heart song in the heart of the seeker that only the highest of loves can reveal. There's a song in the heart of the searcher. Set it free, oh, set it free, set it free, oh, set it free, set it free, oh, set it free, set it free, oh, set it free. There's a light in the depths of the darkness. There's a calm in the eye of every storm. There's a calm in the depths of the darkness. Oh, let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine, shine. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. There's a place in the world for a wanderer. There's a burden only he can bear. There's a place in the world for the wanderer, and he sees, oh yes he sees, and he sees, oh yes he sees, and he sees, oh yes he sees. There's a song in the heart of the searcher that only the highest of loves can reveal. There's a song in the heart of the searcher. I set it free. Oh, set it free. 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 There's a light in the depths of the darkness. There's a calm in the eye of every storm. There's a light in the depths of your darkness. Let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Let it shine. Let the light in. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let the light in. Let it shine, shine, oh, shine on. Let it shine, oh, let it shine. Let it shine, oh, let it shine. Let it shine, oh, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Thank you very much. That was as long as I could possibly drag that song out. I think I did it over twice. Thank you all once again for your very warm welcome. It's a nice crowd here on this Memorial Day Sunday. I want you to give a very, very warm welcome to the ever inspirational and, yes, to me, always effervescent Reverend Ken Wilcox.
Thank you, my wonderful friend. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As you can tell, I'm having a little voice problems. I think it's allergies because my little Pickapoo is in her transition. She's in failing health. And the one thing she likes is to drive around the neighborhood with her head out the window, which means I'm getting bombarded by pollen. So in the future, if you see somebody driving 10 miles an hour with a Pickapoo with the head out the window and a mask on, you know it's me. So we'll struggle through this and do the best we can. So welcome, welcome. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox. Welcome to this wonderful place. You know, all Spirit asks and all it requires of us is that we appear. And we can have this energy show up in our lives in a greater, more dynamic and powerful way if we will just let go of our troubles, our fears, our would-haves, our could-haves, our should-haves. If you'll just leave that stuff outside and for the next 45 minutes or so, open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more friendship, more clear speaking, all those things in life that make us feel alive, because that's what God is doing through you, and that's what it's doing through me. So know you're in a special place this morning. You're in a healing place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. So we have a bunch of announcements this morning, but I think to get us going first, why don't we have Dr. Manley and Ted Manley come up, and so we can honor our Venus Manley Scholarship winners.
Good morning, everybody. We have a special morning today. As always, this time of year when we're awarding our Venus Manley Scholarship winners and participants. But I said it's a special morning today because we've got two. Can you hear me? Mabel? Okay, no problem. We have a special one this morning because we have two recipients that we want to recognize with you. One you all pretty much know. And the other, Reese Henley, we want to introduce to you. Reese is a graduate of Bartram Trail High School. Reese is a graduate of Bartram Trail. She and her family are here. And Reese is one of the Venus Manley Scholarship winners this year. So she's a recipient of the $1,000 gift prize. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Reese, join me up here. I'm so sorry. So you all can see her. I'm so sorry. Say hi, Reese. So one of Reese's challenges is speech, her speech from a young age. And let me read you one of the comments that she said in her essay, if you don't mind. It's her opening comment. She says, "Slow down. What are you saying? Is she speaking gibberish? These are all things that she heard every day. When you think of someone facing obstacles in life, you tend to think of an event or a time or a person that's affected them. However, her obstacle was herself. So Reese has obviously effectively dealt with herself. And I also want to share with you some of her accomplishments over the years, recently. We've got to make this short, so I'm not going to read all of her accomplishments. Can you hold this 1 second for me? So you can see I'm putting on a lot of pages, but I'm going to read maybe one of her pages right now in terms of what Reese has done to overcome some of her challenges. Okay, senior class treasurer, 1 year of that. Junior class treasurer, soccer team, 4 years. Forward, track team, 4 years. Cross-country team, 2 years. National Honor Society, 3 years. Technical Honor Society. I'm getting out of breath here reading this. This is the first page. Reese is attending University of Florida, UF, next year. So this is a testament not only to Reese, but also to her supportive family, because we know without family, we need family. need family. So thanks for such a warm welcome of Reese. Show her some love now. Show her some love after service as well. Reese, congratulations. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Manley to present to you our little gift, Momentum.
I got one hand. We've got the certificate for the Venus Manley Scholarship. And we have a goodie bag with lots of fun things and some reading material and things to get you ready for school. Thank you so much.
All right. Shall I
Miles?
continue?
Okay.
All right. Our next. This guy didn't need an invitation, did he? Miles. CSL warm welcome for our own Miles. Miles has been with us throughout. Right? Miles knew Venus from the time that she started here with her brother Victor. So Miles is one of our own. Miles has recently graduated from St. Augustine High School, and a little sparrow, a little bird told me that Miles also graduated cum laude.
Wow.
Miles, would you like to say a word or two? Quickly.
Miles applied for our Venus Manley Scholarship, but we did not finish the application process. But because you were an applicant, you are still awarded the Dolores Marie Ellison gift, which is a $250 gift. And of course, we gave you all the goodies as well. And so I want to just give you this award. And you knew Dolores personally. So I want you to say a few words about Dolores as well. Why don't we exchange between the microphone and the gift for you? Okay. Let me just hold it and let you say a few words.
Okay, good for him.
I think I got it. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say it's a great honor to be standing before you today. And so with this $250, I plan to use this to further my education while attending St. John's River State College.
Yay.
And so a lot of you probably know me, but if you don't, nice to meet you. And I've attended this center since I was 5 years old, and I'm 18 now, so you can count the years. I believe going here has shaped who I am as a person, and for that I am eternally grateful. In the future, I would like to pursue my passion for composing and playing music and design video games. Thanks to you, I'm one step closer towards this dream. In addition, I will continue to work towards being my best self. I will add new exercises to my routine and take trips to new places in nature and maintain a healthy diet. Now, I wanted to say a few words about Dolores Ellison. I remember Dolores, who taught the youth program when I was little, and how caring she was. She was an educator and always saw a bright future in me. And I'm so grateful to have had her in my life while she was still on this plane. And so I just wanted to thank her and thank the Venus Manley Scholarship, the youth program, and you, CSL. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Tangela. Thank you, Miles. And thank you, Reese. Miles, Dolores was one of my dear, dear friends, and she would be so proud of you. And also, Reese and Miles, I always tell the congregation that I encourage them. I used to have an aunt. Aunt Lucille was one of my favorite people in all the world. And when I was in college, at family gatherings, she would come up and slip me a 5 or 10. That was a long time ago. I think those were coins back then. But I encourage as people get to meet you after service, maybe slip them a little bit of money. Now, there's been inflation, so 5 and 10s won't cut it. And if you didn't notice, Reese is a fashion plate. Reese, stand up again and let them see that. Come on up here, baby. Come on up here. It's going to take some money to get her looking that good. We're very honored you're here today. So a couple of more announcements. Our newcomers class will be here in the auditorium after service. If you would like to know more about our center, our teaching, stay for that class, and we'll give you some information, and it'll be a way for you can join our community. We have a plant sale going on this afternoon, and Jim and the Garden Club have done that, and we're very grateful for it. So if you want to refresh your garden with some new plants, check what they've got going on out there. We have our metaphysical fair next Saturday, and we still need some help with the welcome table. So if you would like to do that, please check in with me or Tina Danielson, and there's a flyer outside with her name on it. Well, those are all my announcements, so let's get going with a reading and an affirmative prayer from Richard Austin. Come on up, Richard.
Thank you, Ken. So let's all start with a little prayer for Ken's voice.
All right.
Yeah, because we want to get this message today. It's just a little more soothing, like a throat lozenge. Our good intentions for you to have a great time in your message this morning. So I took a reading out of Monday's Science of Mind magazine for today's reading. And the author states that I ended my first week in Washington, D.C. by attending the wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery's Tomb of the Unknowns. I can still feel the solemn feeling of the proceeding as the people gathered to honor those who had died in military service to the United States. There was a sacredness to this remembrance that moved me to my core. In my opinion, war is born of insecurity and the belief in scarcity. And it is indeed sad that governments compel people to go to war at all. But those we honor on Memorial Day sacrificed their lives for their country, for people who had never met, and for the ideal of freedom. They were loved and cherished by family members and friends, and so there is no escaping the grief that comes with their loss. I find it amazing that no matter what I understand to be the truth, in this case, that there is no end to life, only a transition to another experience, that truth means so little when a loved one dies. There is pain and sadness because we are human, and we deeply feel the loss of the physical presence of those that have passed. This Memorial Day, I say a prayer of gratitude to those who have died defending their country, a prayer of peace for their families, and a prayer for the awakening of humankind to the oneness of all life and the embracing of everyone in harmony and cooperation. God made all there was, let's try that one again. God made all there was made, and all that God made was made of God, partaking of the very nature of God, which is eternality, immortality, and perfection. Joel Goldsmith wrote that in The Art of Meditation. When the physical existence ceases and the spirit serves its connection forever for this physical body, then the individuals whom we think are dead are looking out of another window. Their souls go on and have a new embodiment. Ernest Holmes writes that in the 101 Ideas That Make a Difference. And so I affirm here, I hold the vision of peace, abundance, and healing for all. So as you feel comfortable, sit back, relax, let the chair support you, and take a deep breath. And know this truth with me now, that there is one presence, one universal mind, whatever we call it, one God. And it is the Spirit that runs through each and every one of us, day in, day out, second after second, moment after moment. I am one with it, and it is one with me. And as I go through this day, I recognize the peace of my spirit. Expanding out and touching others, we come to this place with the joy in our hearts to get a message that is heartfelt, that can change our lives, and that we have that opportunity to focus our thoughts, our ideas, and our energy into what we choose to create in our lives. We know this truth is I was going to say easy, but we know sometimes we have to work at it. And we know that it is a blessing, a joy, and an experience that we all come to enjoy in this moment right here and right now. And as we go forward into this day, we give thanks not only to our center, to our minister, to our music, to all of those that are here, our board. We give thanks to the plants outside that are providing oxygen for us to breathe and enjoy a peace and harmony at this moment. And we know that this is true. We feel it, we see it, we sense it, and we can all release it in this moment simply by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
Wendy, can you bless us with some music? After you sing for us and we'll go into the talk. Yes.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold. And just like them old stars, I feel like you've come so far to be right where you are. Well, how old is your soul? Well, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. Well, I don't want to be the one who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we've got. We've got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we didn't tend for us to burn. We didn't break, we didn't burn. I had to learn what I had without the world caving in. I had to learn what I've got and what I'm not and who I am. No, I won't give up on us. Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my I'm still looking up. No, I won't give up on us. God knows we're tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn. But God knows we're worth it, and we're worth it. No, I won't give up on us. Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love. Still looking up. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. I love that. We're definitely worth it. Thank you. Dear Linda just came up and gave me a seriously strong cough drop of Ricola. I think that means Norwegian for pine tar. I'm not sure. So hopefully I'm going to get through this. So my talk title is Courage. Courage. You know, it's Memorial Day. It's right we honor those that have defended our freedom. Ronald Reagan said, if words cannot pay our debt to them, then surely our actions we should strive to keep faith with those who fought for our freedom. It's right we honor the heroes, both male and female, both famous and forgotten, because they played a huge part in keeping us free. A person who has largely been forgotten, who was really not only a war hero, he then became a movie actor, was Audie Murphy. And he had an amazing career. He was just a wisp of a guy, just a wisp of a guy. He was born in the Depression. His father abandoned the family. His mother died before while he was still a kid. He had to work in the cotton fields of Texas to support himself. When the war came along, he lied about his age so he could sign up for the military. He was fighting in France, I believe. He was heading up a tank. The tank got hit and was set on fire. He told the crew to abandon the tank. He stood on top of the tank on fire for an hour and kept firing at the advancing Germans. Can you imagine? For an hour, he held them back on a burning tank. He got back home. He was totally decorated. Hollywood came calling, and he went out to Hollywood, and he became rather famous. We don't remember him very much, but he was big into the westerns. Now, he suffered from post-traumatic stress. But at that time, they didn't know anything about post-traumatic stress. And at that time, the culture was men didn't talk about emotions. You know, you were John Wayne. You just sucked it up. But he suffered from it. In fact, he couldn't sleep without a gun under his pillow. That always has bothered me. It's like, I just can't imagine that's a safe thing to do. And he got hooked on sleeping pills, very addictive sleeping pills. Late in life, he had serious money problems. Both the liquor industry and the cigarette industry came to him and offered him huge sums of money if he would do advertising for them. And he said, I won't do it. He says, there are kids that saw my movies and TV shows. If I advertise cigarettes or alcohol, some kid may take it up because they honor me, they respect me, and I won't take your money. To me, that was as courageous an act as him standing on that tank for an hour, keeping the Germans at bay. So it's right that we honor these people. You know, my dad was in World War II, and looking back now, I think he must have had post-traumatic stress because he really wasn't very emotionally available. He died when I was quite young, and I used to have a lot of resentment about that. And finally, I came to a place of compassion when I thought about his experience. You know, he grew up in the Depression in Wilcox County, Georgia. Do not go there. It's no place to visit. I went there last 40 years ago. I made sure I got everything I took with me. No reason to come back. And then when he was 18, he was drafted. I am sure he had never been on a train. I know he had never seen the ocean. He had probably never seen a good-sized boat. And he was shipped over to Okinawa. And then he came back to try to create a life. Well, no wonder he was emotionally unavailable. So now, a little bit older, I have compassion about him and thinking of the terror he must have gone through, seeing these things for the first time. And we can't just think it's just males. The amazing thing, America, we do things not so good sometimes, but sometimes we really do some good, smart stuff. And one of the most brilliant things we did in World War II that neither the Germans or the Japanese did is we allowed our women, female citizens to help us out. The Germans and the Japanese could not envision that, but we encouraged that. There's a wonderful book, if you want to read about one particular program. It's called The Girls of Atomic City by Denise Kierman. And it's about the Oak Ridge facility in Tennessee. And this is where we harvested the uranium. And it required that 24 hours a day for years, that hundreds of people had to sit on high wooden stools and look at a little small meter and make sure the needle on the meter didn't go too high or too low. At first, they tried men, military guys, quickly realized that the guys couldn't do it. They'd get bored, they would talk, they couldn't do it. Then they pulled in women from the local area. The women could do it. And it was the women who made that program a success. So we want to honor them. And of course, we have heroes all around us. And all through our history. Our wonderful city, St. Augustine, it's a beautiful, lovely, peaceful place now. But during the Civil Rights Movement, this was a hotbed of violence. Violence. I have a dear friend, Deacon Floyd of the New Birth Baptist Church. They used to rent our auditorium here. And just this past week, he sent me a check, a little check, and he put on the check that I was to use it to go buy myself lunch. I am always honored with people who think I need to be encouraged to eat. I really love that. Now, the thing about Deacon Floyd is he was the first African-American commissioner that sat on the St. John's Board of Commissioners, the first one. And I cannot imagine the hostility he faced. I can't imagine it. They used to invite me to come and do the opening prayers there. And it got to a point that one of the commissioners who would introduce me, and he was a Baptist minister, he made it a point that he would not call me Reverend Wilcox. Instead, he would just call me Mr. Wilcox, because he wasn't going to recognize me as Reverend. It didn't bother me one iota, But if they were going to do that to somebody that had been invited to come speak to them, imagine what kind of reception Deacon Floyd got when he showed up. So we want to honor people. And they're throughout, all around us, they're heroes. I think of our dear Reverend Elizabeth Clare. She was my predecessor here. And she came from California, I think in the 90s, crossed the nation to come here to St. Augustine to run our community. And she did it alone. Imagine the fear, and imagine how much courage it took for her to do it. And she did an amazing job. So we want to honor her. And the thing that I want to point out to you is there's a hero in all of us. There is this kind of courage in all of us. Because if you haven't noticed, it takes courage to get through life. It takes courage to come to life. And if you do it with any kind of dignity at all, you've got to know you're not alone. That there's a power within you that is leading you, calling you on, encouraging you. And when you can link that courage with love, that's when you're in real power. I love the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz. Because the Cowardly Lion, he realizes that courage is not the absence of fear, it is in spite of the fear that you go on. And you do it with love. You see, when we first meet him, he's alone in the woods. He gets harassed because they know he's a coward. And what does he do? In order to buck himself up, he goes around attacking things weaker than he is. Today, he'd be a politician. Y'all can applaud, yes. It's when he falls in love with Dorothy that he faces his courage. He finds his courage. That's when he finds his courage. When through love, he falls in love with her. I love the scene when Dorothy has been kidnapped. She's in the witch's castle. And they know she's in there. And the scarecrow, who supposedly doesn't have any brains, he comes up with a plan. And the plan is for the lion to lead him in there. And the lion tells him, I'm going in. Wicked witch or no wicked witch, I'm going in. Flying monkeys or no flying monkeys, I'm going in. And he says, I just want you fellows to do one thing for me. And what do you want us to do? Talk me out of it. That's what I want you to do. Courage can change a situation, and love will give you what you need to stand up and make a difference. Now, my family, we had a game they played. And I don't know how many generations they had played it. And the game was, let's tear each other apart. That was the game they played. And they were good at it. They were good at it. And I suffered greatly from it. But then a miracle happened. A miracle that changed my life. I can't imagine what direction my life would have gone if this miracle had not happened. And the miracle was, when I was 15 years old, a niece came into my life, my beloved niece. And the first moment I saw her in that incubator, I fell in love with her. And I made a promise to her she was not going to suffer from that kind of cruelty. Now, when she got old enough, she was probably about 4 or 5, we were at a family gathering. Now, you also have to realize that I was at the bottom of the totem pole in my family because of my lifestyle. I was the least respected in my family. And there was a family gathering, and my brother-in-law, he made a comment about her. She was just 4 or 5. And when he did, I jumped on him like stink on ugly. I jumped on him like I was on a tank firing at Germans. And it freaked them all out. And they backed up. And they realized from that point on that the rules had changed. And that it wasn't going to happen anymore, at least when I was there. Yeah. Sometimes courage is about opening up your heart. When you pair courage with love, it's when you step into your power, and the world will sometimes back away. Just a bit, and that's all you need, just a bit. Later on, when I went up to Washington and I was working for a congressman, I was in a roommate situation with all these roommates. And I saw how they interacted with their families. And, and I saw how loving they were with their families and how their families were loving towards them. I was amazed because I had just always assumed that was something you saw in the movies or on television. I didn't know that real families did that. So I began to make a point of that when my mom called to talk to me, that at the end of the conversation, that I would say, I love you. Now, the first time I did it, there was a long, awkward silence. And I don't think she replied. And it took several times to get her to reply back to me, I love you. Then it got to a point that if I didn't say it, she would say it to me. Now, later on still, when her health was failing and she'd go in the hospital, one good thing you can say about my mom, she was a great caretaker. And for people, relatives who were ever in the hospital, she would always go and spend the night with them. She didn't trust the nurses. She'd go and stay with you. And so when she got sick, my sisters didn't volunteer, so I volunteered. I'll spend the night with you. Well, at first, she wouldn't hear of it. No. I did it anyway. Now, as things got more and more serious, hospital visits later, there got to a point where she would whisper to me, are you going to stay the night? Are you going to stay with me? Love can change your heart. Love can change your life. Don't be afraid to express love. Be courageous in your love. It's what you've come to do, to be loving. We tell people, God is not loving, God is love. God is love. So when you're loving and you're courageous and you're stepping out in love, you're being a channel of God here in the physical plane. And that's what you come here to do. And only you can do it. There's something for you to do that nobody else can do but you. You know, right before we moved down to Florida, now almost 12 years ago, we were selling our house we had lived in for over 10 years. And we were getting things packed up. And for some unknown reason, a friend of mine needed me to house sit her dog. It was this big German Shepherd, Buddy. And he was a sweetheart. He really was. And my little Sadie, who is one that I'm driving around the neighborhood now, is the reason I don't have a voice, she was a little tiny thing back then. And to me, she was always an angel, but she was a terrorist to this poor dog. She would bite his tail every chance she got. And somebody told me, they said, well, take him on walks. If you take them on walks, they'll do better. And so one day I had spent all day packing up and loading up and getting things ready. All of a sudden it was 1:30 at night, and I hadn't taken the dogs for a walk. And Buddy, he really needed walks. And so I thought, okay, I'll take him on a short walk. I got them together. We go down. We had our house way up on a hill. I got him at the bottom of the hill. I'm looking up at the road, because the road went up the same hill, and it was a dark and foggy night, kind of spooky. And at the top of the hill, I see this figure, and they're walking on the side of the road that I'm walking on. Well, I've got this little 10-pound terrorist with me, so I thought I'll cross over so I don't have to deal with them, because they had a dog too, I could tell. And the moment I crossed over, they crossed over too. So I was like, well, we're just going to have to see how this goes. I get there, and the lady wants to talk. She's a little younger than I am, and she wants to talk. Amazingly, the dogs were just perfect. I was like, I don't know whose dog this is, but the dogs were great. So the lady is telling me that she had grown up on the street. And I told her where we lived, and she said, yes. She said, I remember them. And she says, I played with the kids that grew up in that neighborhood, or in that house. And then, unexpectedly, she couldn't control herself. She just burst out, and she said, my dad died this morning. And I said, I'm so sorry. And I could tell she needed to talk. And she said, she says, my dad and I, we never got along. I had an older brother. He totally put his focus on the older brother. He said, we were just two different kind of people altogether. She said, we never got along. And as I got a teenager, rebellious, she said it was even worse and worse. She said, so I've moved away. She said, I seldom get back here. But Mom called me the other day and she said, you got to come home. Your dad is dying in the hospital. And she says, I got here, and she said, both my brother and my mom were sick with the flu. They can't go visit him. So it's left to me to go see him. And she said, when I got into his hospital room, she said, the nurse told me he's slipping quickly. And she said, I crawled in bed with him. And she said, I knew the thing he was most worried about was that somebody was going to take care of Mom. So she said, I told him, I said, don't worry. She says, I'll be here. I'll look after Mom. And she said, after that, she said, the only thing I could think of doing was start singing a song that I had as a teenager he used to hate. And it was Bob Marley's, Don't Worry, Every Little Thing's Going to Be All Right. And she said she sang that song to him. And she said he squeezed my hand and he took his last breath and he was gone. Now, the whole time she was telling me this, the whole time, there was an idea in my head. It wasn't, nobody said it to me. Spirit didn't come and write a note out. It was an idea. And this idea would not leave me alone. And it felt like that if I didn't share this idea with this lady, I was going to explode. And I was very reluctant because I didn't know her, and I didn't know where the idea came from. But eventually, when she was done, I looked at her and I told her, I said, your dad just wants you to know how proud of you he is. And when I said that, she just dissolved into tears. And I did too. I had lived in that house for 10 years or more. And if nothing more than that very night, that very moment, that was the reason I was to be in that house that night and that moment. You have a reason to be here. You have a power. And when you step into love and courage, you don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to be worried about this world. You don't need to be worried about challenges. When you link yourself with the love of the universe, you can tell yourself that you're here to do something wonderful. You're here to do something glorious. You're here to know how loved and valued you are. God called you by name from stardust so you could walk the soil of St. Augustine. And there is something glorious for you to do. There's something wondrous. When you link your courage with your love, there is no power in the world that can hold you back. And we're here to do something glorious, and you are capable of it. It's within every one of us. This is the truth in your life this morning. This is the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you.
Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Baby, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Dang it, I wish I had music. But I have another really great song about love. So sing this one with me too. Well, love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing. You may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Well, some will come and some will go. We shall surely pass. When the one that's left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. So come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Yeah, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen, you hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. And just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. So come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Yeah, come on, people now, come on, brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. One more time. So come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Try to love one another right now. Try to love one another right now. Right now, right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. So now we come to the time we support ourselves, and we support this center because it's doing great and good and powerful work. Now, you can support us in a couple of ways. You can do volunteer work with us. We're always grateful for that. You can support us in consciousness. You can pray for this place, see this place growing and thriving and being healthy and getting this message out. And, of course, you can support us financially. Whatever your intention is, know it's going to come back to you multiplied abundantly. And if you will take your intention and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. Now, if the ushers will step down, Wendy, can you play something for us?
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time for war, a time of peace, a time that you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time for rain, a time to sow, a time for love to cast away hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late.
They're still collecting money, Wendy. Sing some more. So, thank you, Barb. And thank you for your support. Your support is allowing us to grow and to thrive, to be a wonderful healing place, a beacon of light and love that's making a difference in the world. So you're making a difference by your support of our center. We are grateful for it. We bless it. We release it, knowing it does its good and powerful work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. So let's close out the service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold on tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There's but one God, one mind, one power. And that power is divine love. That power is bursting through reality by means of me. When I step into my love, when I courageously step out into the world, being as loving and kind and as compassionate as I can be. So this morning, in this sacred space, filled with all these wonderful loving souls, I now choose to know something better about myself. That I am the way Spirit is working in my life. This morning I can cast aside every idea of lack and limitation and victimhood. I've played with those small ideas long enough. This morning I am stepping up to the glory of God, made manifest by means of me. This morning I am lifting up my eyes to a greater truth, that it is time for this world to live in peace. It is time for us to live together in sisterhood and brotherhood. It is time for a new heaven and a new earth, a new Jerusalem, by means of my love, compassion, kindness, and courage. So this morning I know where I'm headed, and I'm not turning back. I have lifted my eyes to a better knowing, and I'm on the move. Spirit has made a path before me, and I am on my right path, and I will not turn around. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea. Your life. Your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to name your miracle, to proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. This is Reverend Ken. Until we see each other again, many blessings.
Y'all sing this one with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. Family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is.